Hare Krishna everyone, welcome to Srila Prabhupada Book Reading Club. Currently we are reading the Chant and Be Happy. Okay, so let's start our session by offering the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadatin Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहित कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितां हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलङ्गायते गिरि यत्कृपातहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. So today we will starting chapter 5. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, who wants to read?
Yes, Mataji.
Anyone who didn't get the chance, they can read. Yes, Vinod Prabhu, you can start.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Chapter 5, The Life of Shri Chaitanya. In the later part of the 15th century, India's most extraordinary political, cultural, and religious reformer appeared in a small town in West Bengal. 500 years before Gandhi, this remarkable personality inaugurated a massive non-violent civil disobedience movement. He swept aside the stifling restrictions of the hereditary caste system and made it possible for people from any station in life to achieve the highest platform of spiritual enlightenment. In doing so, he broke the stronghold of proud intellectual elite on India's religious life, ignoring all kinds of outmoded rituals and formulas. He introduced a revolutionary spiritual movement that was rapidly accepted all over India, a movement which because of its universal appeal, has now spread all over the world. The name of this powerful reformer was Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the founder of the modern day Hare Krishna movement. The Vedic scriptures of India had long predicted his birth, which occurred in 1486 in Mayapur, a quarter of the city of Navdipa. Great saints and scholars soon detected that he was not an ordinary human being, but the supreme personality of Godhead himself, Lord Krishna, appearing as a great devotee of the Lord. Sri Chaitanya had little patience with ritualistic religious functions, and as he grew to young manhood, he began to carry out his divine mission. He wanted all people everywhere to have access to the actual experience of love of God, by which one can feel the highest spiritual ecstasies. This awakening, Sri Chaitanya taught, could be attained by Sankirtana, the chanting of the holy name of the God, the Hare Krishna mantra. Sri Chaitanya rapidly acquired many followers who immediately took up the chanting, sometimes performing it in their homes and sometimes in the streets of Navdipa. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtana movement immediately threatened the established groups in the social hierarchy, the Muslim rulers of Bengal and the hereditary Hindu priestly class, the caste priests who were attempting to artificially monopolize religious leadership. members of both groups lodged complaints with the local Muslim ruler Chand Qazi, agreeing that Sri Chaitanya and his followers threatened to establish order. The Qazi tried to suppress the growing Sankirtan movement. On his order, constables raided the home of one of Sri Chaitanya's followers and smashed the drum used in the chanting. The Qazi ordered that the chanting be immediately stopped, and he threatened that if it began again in Navdeepa, he would be ruthless with those responsible. When informed of the raid, Sri Chaitanya immediately organized the largest peaceful civil disobedience movement in Indian history up to that time. On a pre-arranged evening, Sri Chaitanya and 100,000 of his followers suddenly appeared in the streets of Navdeepa and divided into many well-organized chanting parties. As they danced through the city, the sound of the Hare Krishna mantra resounded in the defending roar. Finally, the chanters converged on the residence of the Qazi, who hid inside. At Sri Chaitanya's invitation, however, the Qazi appeared and the two began negotiations, speaking politely and with great logic and reason. Sri Chaitanya convinced the Qazi that the complaints against Sankirtana were groundless. In a dramatic conversion, the Qazi himself became the follower of Sri Chaitanya and actively promoted and protected the Sankirtana movement. To this very day, Hindus visit the tomb of this Muslim magistrate to pay their respects. Since the time of Qazi, the Muslim inhabitants of Navadvipa have never interfered with the public chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, even during the time of the Hindu-Muslim riots. Not long after this important victory in his native town, Sri Chaitanya began to spread his movement all over India. For 6 years, he traveled the length and breadth of the country, chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and spreading love of God. At many places, crowds of hundreds of thousands of people would join with him in massive chanting parties. Nevertheless, he also encountered opponents, the strongest of whom were the Mayavadis, an illicit group of philosophers who had spread throughout India, twisting the meaning of the Vedic scriptures in a vain attempt to prove that God has no personality or form. The impersonalists also believed that spiritual enlightenment could be obtained only by a chosen few who knew Sanskrit and arduously studied the Vedanta Sutra. Throughout his travels, Sri Chaitanya struggled against the Mayavadis and succeeded in convincing many of them by the strength of his preaching. One of the greatest philosophers of the Mayavadi school, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, tried to prevail over Sri Chaitanya in philosophical discussion but was defeated. Countering the Bhattacharya's impersonal explanations of the God, Sri Chaitanya said the living entities are all individual persons and they are all parts and parcels of the supreme whole. If the parts and parcels are individual persons, the source of their emanation must not be impersonal. He is the supreme person among all relative persons. Then, out of his causeless mercy, Sri Chaitanya performed a wondrous miracle, manifesting before Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya his beautiful original spiritual form as Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead. Falling at Lord Chaitanya's feet, the former impersonalist philosopher surrendered to him and soon became a great devotee of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, who wants to read? Ritvika Mataji? Sadhana Mataji?
Hare Krishna
Yes,
Mataji.
yes, Mataji. Yes, Diptimati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. But the biggest confrontation with the Mayavadis was yet to come, and it occurred in the city that had for centuries been the capital of the Mayavada school, Banaras. There, Lord Chaitanya stayed with his friends and devotees and continued his Sankirtana movement, attracting crowds of thousands wherever he went. Hearing reports of this, Prakashanand Saraswati, the leader of the prevailing Mayavada sect, began to criticize the Lord. A real spiritual leader, he said, would never involve himself in singing and dancing with all kinds of ordinary people. Ignorant of the spiritual significance of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, He considered it mere sentiment. Prakashanand Saraswati believed a spiritualist should continually study abstract philosophy and engage in lengthy discussions about the absolute truth. A great clash between a popular non sectarian universal religious movement and a stifling separatist philosophy was about to occur. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would soon destroy forever the impersonalist attempted domination over Indian spiritual thought and practice. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Ritvika Mataji, can you continue?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
The Lord's followers were extremely unhappy about the Mayavadis' constant criticism of him. So, in order to pacify them, he accepted an invitation to a meeting of all the leading Mayavadis. After seating himself on the ground at the assembly, the Lord, exhibiting his supreme mystic potency, manifested from his body a spiritual effulgence more brilliant than the sun. The Mayavadis were amazed and immediately stood in respect. The Prakashananda Saraswati inquired about why Sri Chaitanya chanted and danced instead of studying Vedanta philosophy. Lord Chaitanya, who in truth was extremely well versed in the Vedic teachings, replied, I have taken to the Sankirtana movement instead of the study of Vedanta because I am a great fool. Indirectly, the Lord was criticizing the Mayavadis for being overly proud of their dry intellectual study of the Vedas, which had led them to false conclusions. And because I am a great fool, Chaitanya continued, my spiritual master forbade me to play with Vedanta philosophy. He said that it is better than that I chant the holy name of the Lord, for this would deliver me from bondage. Sri Chaitanya then spoke a Sanskrit verse his spiritual master had told him to always remember. In this age of Kali, there is no alternative. There is no alternative. There is no alternative for spiritual progress other than the chanting of the holy name. The chanting of the holy name, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord.
Narada Purana,
Brahmaratya Purana.
Narada Purana.
The discussion went on for hours. Finally, in one of the most astounding religious conversions of all time, Prakashananda Saraswati, the Mayavadi's great scholar, along with all his followers, surrendered to Lord Chaitanya and began to chant the holy names of Lord with great enthusiasm. As a result of this conversion, the entire city of Benares adopted Sri Chaitanya's Sankirtana movement. Although Sri Chaitanya had been born a Brahmana, a member of the highest caste, he always said that such designations were external and behaved accordingly. Disregarding the social conventions of the age, he would stay in the homes of devotees from even the lower caste and take his meals with them. Indeed, he delivered his most esoteric teachings on the subject of love of God to Ramananda Raya, a member of a lower caste. Another of the Lord's disciples, Haridas Thakur, was born a Muslim and was thus considered an outcast in Hindu society. Yet Sri Chaitanya elevated him to the exalted position of Namacharya, the exemplar of the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya judged people not by their social status but their spiritual advancement. In this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu laid the foundation for a universal religion for all humankind, a scientific process of spiritual awakening that is now rapidly spreading around the globe. In this present age, when attendance at churches, temples, and mosques is diminishing daily and the world is torn by violence between numerous religious and political sects, It is easy to it is easy to see that people are growing more and more dissatisfied with external divisive religious formulas. People are hungering for an experience of spirituality that transcends all boundaries. Millions are now finding that experience in the worldwide Sankirtana movement of Lord Chaitanya, who said who said this Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. So
Hare
yes,
Krishna.
in yesterday we have seen now, like uh, everyone, every religion, they are practicing that, they are seeking for the self-realization. They come to the point that yes, this material world is a temporary, and we have to look for something which is a permanent. Then they will come. Then they come. We can conclude that. Then they come to the conclusion that they have to chant the holy name and they have to glorify the Lord. Okay. And then we have also seen some references from the Brahmanardiya Purana. Harinama Kevalam Kalo Nasteva Gatir Anyatha. We also see the a shloka from the Kali Sankartana Upanishad that says by simply chanting the 16 words of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they can release us from this bondage of a birth and death. And this is Harinam is itself sufficient for the self realization. Okay. Then we also seen some verses from the Sista Astakam. Okay. And we also seen that in the four yugas, for each yuga, there is a different spiritual practice. By practicing that, we can for the self realization, we can practice the spirituality and go back to the Godhead. For a Satyuga, it was the majestic yoga. And for the Kali Yuga, it is a prescribed in a shastras that we have to chant the holy name. Simply by the chanting holy name, we can go back to the Godhead. But it is very easy to chant the holy name. It is easy, it is easy for one who is a serious, and it is for a very difficult for someone who is a lazy. And when we start practicing, when we try to focus on each and every word, then it is little difficult in starting. Okay, but once you get the inertia, then you can practice very nicely. So yes, so in a fifth chapter, we can see who have started the Sankirtana movement. Yes, what Prabhupada says, this ISKCON is this. It is just one branch of a Sankirtana movement, which is founded by the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Radha Krishna, together they come as the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the liberation of the fallen souls in the Kali Yuga. Okay, the Kali Yuga is also known as the Iron Age because their age is so small. In a starting in a Satyuga, it was around 10 lakh years, then it reduced to 1 lakh years, then 10,000. Now in Kali Yuga, it is just 100 years. But we cannot, as the Kali Yuga progress, we can see the lives are further reducing. In starting, people used to stay for the 100 years, but around 80, 70, or maximum 80, people are dying. Okay, we can see people are dying at every moment, at any age, even a 5 years old boy or 15 years, 25 years, there is no specification. Then we don't have to wait to our old age to practice the Krishna consciousness. Okay, I also have the posted one video in our group now. We can see it is just we can go through that video and we can realize, okay, how much time we have wasted and what things are going to come in our future. And then we have to we don't have to give up our Krishna consciousness. We can say oh, if I get a job, if I get a settle, if I get a kids, and if I get my kids grow, then I can practice spirituality. No, time is running so fast. we don't have to wait. Like whatever condition you are, whatever situation you are, you have to practice the Krishna consciousness, and you have to take the Krishna consciousness very seriously. And it begins with very simple rule. We have to chant, we have to follow the four regulative principles. We have to chant the 16 rounds, and that too with that too without the offenses. And to like to get that right mood and to know about the Hare Krishna mantra, to know about the importance, it is very necessary to we should be very well versed in a philosophy. And like for that, we have to hear Harikrita from the seniors, and we have to read the Srila Prabhupada books. Even our Guru Maharaj wants now he is saying that like he one who is applying for initiation, he want the written. He want in a written and and also he need a signature from the temple president or a Namahatta leader that like this devotee has reading the Prabhupada's books. Okay, so it is very necessary. Even my Guru Maharaj, like even like he has having lot of challenges, then also like before sleeping he is daily reading half to 1 hour Srila Prabhupada books. Okay, he have finished the Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Like now he was reading the Bhagavad Gita. He finished all the Bhagavad Gita within the like 2 months time. Then now he is reading so
Hari
commentary
Bhakti Vilas.
commentary of yes, Hari Bhakti Vilas, the commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, is it? Yes. So yes, like we can see that from the examples of the senior devotees, they are so dedicated to read the Srila Prabhupada books. So we are so good, like because of all of your mercy, daily we are starting our days by reading Srila Prabhupada books. If you simply read the books now, then like we are connecting with the Srila Prabhupada. So now we have seen even Prabhu when the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started the movement, then there is a opposition from the like local Muslims and the Karmakandi Brahmanas. And because what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is used to say, in the Kali Yuga all are the Shudras, is it? Because like we will send that shots today, that in Kali Yuga why people all are Shudras, because for the Brahmana, Kshatriya and for the higher caste, they have to go through the purificatory methods and some religious practice. They have to go through the Garbhadhana sanskar, and currently nothing is happening. Nothing samskara is happening. So all are considered as the Shudras. And this caste system is not according to the Bible. This caste system is according to your guna and karma. Okay, in the Bhagavad Gita it is also said na guna karma vibhagasha. So like is according to our caste and sorry, it is depend on our like gunas and karmas, what we practice. Okay, so yes, like and like they opposed the Sankirtana movement, and they also broke the mridangas. And then like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the largest peaceful civil obedience movement, like what we called in a Hindi, I don't have idea, but like in that, is it March? So 100,000 followers participate in that, and like they chanted, they were roaring the Hare Krishna mantra. And by seeing this, then like the people like the Chant Kazi and his followers, they also started respected. They get scared, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discuss with the Chant Kazi, and they discuss many things related to killing the animals for the yajna and all. It is prescribed in the Vedas, and all of these things they discuss there. And like a Chankaji is a convinced, and he also become a devotee, and he promised the Lord Chaitanya that he is not going to interfere with the Sankirtana movement forever. So we can also see in some schools and colleges, and even in a public now, when they says they are not going to help, or going to they don't respect whatever vitilak or whatever kanthimala we wear. So at this time, we should we should also do this kind of things. Okay, because they allow all the nonsense, but they don't allow what is really good. Okay, so we can see like a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stay on this earth planet for the 48 years, out of which 24 years he spent in the Mayapur. He spent in the Kolkata in Mayapur, and rest of life he spent in the Jagannath Puri. And out of this 24 years, he spent 6 years in traveling all over the India and and distributing the Sankirtana movement. Okay, and like during this, he formed the massive parties, and here we can see like wherever he was going, he was defeating the people like who are the Mayavadis. Mayavadis are some people who don't believe in a personal form of a lord. So like first he met the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in a Jagannath Puri, then then like he defeated him by giving the statements the living entities are all the individual person and they are all are part and parcels of a supreme whole. The part and parcels are individual person. The source of their elimination must be impersonal, must not be impersonal. He is the supreme personal among the relative persons. And then out of his causeless mercy, then causeless mercy, like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shown him the like a Chaturbhuj Narayana, then like a two-handed form of a Krishna, which is the more where devotees get more and more attracted towards the two-handed form, the Sham Sundara form. Okay, and then the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya like surrendered to Lord Chaitanya and become his great devotee. Then like Lord also in the traveling he moved to the Banaras. He stayed there, and Banaras is the the capital of the Mayavada school at that time. And like he was performing there the Sankirtana movement. He were out of his causeless mercy he was distributing the Krishna prema freely. Okay, so and there was the great leader of a Mayavada school, Prakash Nanda Saraswati, and then he start to criticizing the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like he's simply dancing and singing and with that ordinary kinds of the people, and he's also taking the meals from the householder which are very lower in a caste, and like he's simply chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. He's just a sentimental, he's not a spiritualist. And according to the Prakashananda Saraswati, like spiritualist is someone who is abstract the philosophy and who is engaged in a lengthy discussion about the absolute Lord. But but like what we have seen in a Bhagavad Gita, what we are seeing in the purpose of Prabhupada, simply by mental simply by the mental speculation, we cannot understand Krishna. Okay, for understanding Krishna, we have to take the shelter of a pure devotee, because only the pure devotees of Lord can understand Krishna. Okay, so yes, like he was criticizing Lord Chaitanya, and he was criticizing the personal form of a Lord. Okay, but he was not able to alter the Krishna name, because the Mayavadis are offenders because they are not accepting the personal form of a Lord. So they are offenders, and like one who is offender, they cannot take the name of a Lord Krishna. Okay, so he was criticizing, but they then go and the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was like so sad. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted uh, accepted the invitation for the doing some conversation, and like he go in that sabha, and he manifested his bodily spiritual effulgence and a brilliant sun. Then everyone get amazed, and like they immediately offer some respect to the Lord Chaitanya. And they asked Lord Chaitanya, "Oh, why are you simply dancing and chanting instead of studying Vedanta philosophy?" But everyone knows he's the well versed in a Vedanta philosophy, because in his childhood he defeated the Keshav Pandit. Okay, Keshav Pandit is a very great scholar in the Vedic knowledge. He was traveling all over the India, and he was defeating the great Sanskrit scholars, and he was taking in return to we should have the proud now. I have defeated this, I have defeated that, and I am how much great I am. And gods never like the pride. Like whatever kind of sevas you are doing, whatever appreciation you are getting, you have to pass on to the Guru Parampara. Okay, but instead of that, we are getting pride. Oh, how nicely I'm performing the seva, how nicely I'm making garland, how nicely I'm reciting the shlokas, or how nicely I'm taking the classes. Then Krishna doesn't like that. Krishna will Krishna will then Krishna will purify you, as the Krishna purified when Indra get proud. Oh, why you're offering that food stuff, and why you are offering that to that simply the simply to that heal instead of me. He get proud. So so like Krishna has to destroy his proud. So Krishna doesn't like devotees get proud. Then he do some leela and like he crushed our proud. So yes, like he was so proud, like he was taken in written like I'm a great scholar and I'm get you have get defeated by the Keshav Pandit. So like this when the Nimai, like when the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very like small, at that time he defeated the Keshav Pandita. So like yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not like he's well versed in a philosophy. He's not doing simply out of a sentiment. But when they ask like what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, that I'm a great fool and my and my spiritual master told me to simply chant the Hare Krishna mantra, then you can go back to the Godhead, like, and stay away from this Vedanta philosophy. Okay, so like he was also referring from the Brahmanardya Purana that Harir Nama Kevalam Kalo Nasteva Gatir Anyatha. Like simply like in Kali Yuga there is no other option than chanting the Hare Krishna mantra for the spiritual advancement. So like they were discussing for the hours with the Prakashananda Saraswati Thakur and then other the Mayavadis. Then at the end, all the Mayavadis along with the Prakashananda Saraswati, they have surrendered to the Lord and they become a devotees. Okay, and yes, we can like as we describe further, the Lord was taking the prasadam from the like peoples from the lower caste. So like it is not the Krishna consciousness is only from the Brahmanas and it is only for the Kshatriyas. Like it is depend on the guna and karma. If you are ready for the purification of your heart, if you are ready to take the instructions of a Srila Prabhupada and pure devotees, then then you everyone can practice the Krishna consciousness. So like what here says that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu judged the people not on their social status, but they are the spiritual advancement. So how much we are spiritually inclined, how much purification of our heart and how much purification of our consciousness is happened. How nicely we are reading Srila Prabhupada books. How nicely we are how nicely we are hearing the Hari Katha. It depends on that. Okay, how nicely we are chanting the holy name with the with the utmost sincerity, that is like seen by the Lord. Even like we are rendering the services, our sincereness, our efforts are seen by the Lord. Like Lord doesn't see the results now. Like many of the devotees, they are rendering seva for the counseling, okay, the facilitator seva. Like they have put a lot of efforts. They have, if they have done their 100%, they have given their 100%, then Krishna is satisfied with their with their efforts. Even like they are not able to retain one or two devotees, but Krishna is satisfied. Our aim, like Samsiddhar Haritoshanam, our aim is to please Krishna. Our aim is not to please ourselves. Okay, so yes, yes, Krishna sees our efforts and Krishna sees our sincerity. And when Krishna sees our sincerity, then mercy flows. Mercy flows according to sincerity. When we are sincere, then Krishna automatically bestows his mercy. And yesterday I have seen one shot where it stays like we can see the lot of demons, they are coming in the Vrindavana simply to kill themselves. So like this asuras are compared to the anarthas. So like on our own strength we cannot let go our anarthas. We cannot control, or we cannot eradicate our anarthas. But when the Krishna's mercy comes, then by Krishna will kill, or Krishna will eradicate this anartha. But for that we have to put our efforts. It doesn't mean that like you are not practicing sincerely and you are not putting efforts and like everything is taken care by Krishna. No. Okay, so we have to put some efforts, and by seeing that, Krishna will bestow his mercy. So Hare Krishna everyone. So from tomorrow we will start chapter 6, the Haridas Thakur and the prostitute. Okay, so like please stand your round so nicely. Please hear and read the Prabhupada's books. So vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, happy Krishna conscious day. So we have to steal some time
Thank
for a
you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna,
So
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
even
Thank you
5
so
minutes,
much.
10 minute
Hare
time we get,
Krishna,
we have
Dandavat
to
Pranam.
engage in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, thank you for everyone for
Hare
joining. Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.